Sandra and I are on a little road trip for a job. We're filming for a job that's not going to end up on the YouTube channel. But I saw on the way here that there is a native nursery called Catskills Native Nursery, and it closes at the end of October. And I thought we would make a little stop because we are sourcing plants all the time for the homestead. But we're sourcing plants for a big front garden that we didn't necessarily plan on putting in, but we decided that we would do it kind of last minute. I think September, October is like really a fun time to plant. It's a great time to get some end of season plants as well. So I've already scoped some things out and I have a list of plants that I already started to see from their website. So I thought we'd make a quick trip, but we can't get too much because our trunk is pretty full.
Well, camera gear. So.
Yeah, I know.
It's either camera gear or plant.
Oh man, what about a little bit of both? So one of the things that really caught my attention right here, I think I might go home with one of these. Willow leaf sunflowers, so pretty, so delicate. This would be perfect for the pollinator garden, even though that's the garden that I'm not supposed to be shopping for. I'm really looking for shrubs, so I think maybe if we'll head over this way because that's where the shrubs are. I've been really big into native plants and ones that are more regional or bioregional, so this is kind of in the New York area, same kind of zone. Speaking of native pollinator plants, some Symphyotrichums right here. Well, they have a lot of tall trees here. I don't think we could obviously go home with that because we're really limited with space. These are really adorable. Look at these little Hookaras. I think people probably pick those up for like little fairy gardens if they stay that small. That's fun. They have an ugly plant sale. Just have to kind of figure out this how this is set up. I guess they're known for their water lilies, so that's what this is all for. So the things that I'm looking for in particular, they have this Amarnakia Stolenifera, which is kind of like a ground hugging, well, it's more like 4 feet, but it kind of grows like a ground cover. So that's one thing I'm looking for. They also have our native rhododendrons, like Rhododendron maximum. And they have some of our native dicentras. Ooh, that's cool. Yes, so I have a small one of these. But see, even this is a little bit too large to fit into our car. So we're really limited with what we could bring home.
Probably fit, but now you're really compromising your space.
I know, and then that would be the only thing I could get then, you know?
Well, you have a little more space.
This is gorgeous. So we bought some chokeberries for our land. Look at that color of that leaf. So this is Aronia arbustifolia brilliantissima. I believe I planted this cultivar of Aronia in the interstitial area. So that's really nice. I think ours got a little eaten by some deer though. And we have Calathea Florida. That is one of the shrubs that we have planted in that new big garden area, which is also a very nice native. Orchard fruits. Okay, so wow, they have some really sizable trees here. Look at this, only $34. Crap, that's not bad. $34 for that big crap apple? I mean, I kind of wish we had a Baker's Acres was kind of like this for us where we are, but they're now not in service anymore. Flowering dogwood, euonymus, 9 bark. See, even blueberries get some really pretty colors on their leaves during the fall. I think some of these plants will have actually lost their leaves too. Low bush blueberries. I had them on my list, but I don't think they're the most important things for us to get. Oh, here it is. Running serviceberry. All right, it doesn't look like much, but yep, this is what I was looking for. Amarnakia Stolenifera. Running serviceberry. So that's good. I could even get this one that's looking a little smaller just to save on space. It's also pretty green. So yeah, so this kind of spreads by Stolenifera, means that it probably spreads by stolons, so it'll kind of go out this way. So this is one of the ones that I'm going to get. It's a pretty physocarpus. Okay, so that's one. So I also just recently got a black chokeberry, not this cultivar, but one called Iroquois, and it gets really beautiful orange leaves, and the deer don't seem to bother it very much, which is nice. It's a good fruiting plant for wildlife and birds. All these elderberries, which I think I'll pass on for now. Gosh, look at these asters. Look at this native aster. Unbelievable, right? This is one of the most important families for our specialist pollinators. All right, so the next one I have to keep my eye out for, this gooseberry, nice, is there's this one thing called Kellycanthus Floridas burgundy spice. It looked really cool and nice. Really nice burgundy leaves. These look like winter witch hazels. Oh, this one's pretty. Okay, so these are azaleas and rhododendrons, so we might be able to find the rhododendron in here. Nope. See, I'm not interested in the hybrids. See, these are hybrids. I really want just the straight species, because a lot of our rhododendrons, again, you need some of the species to attract the specialist pollinators. So Rhododendron maximum, Arborescence is another species that we could possibly get. They might be completely out of the others. Which it looks like they are. Spicebush we also planted recently in the interstitial. So that's a host plant for the spicebush swallowtail. Look how nice and golden yellow that they get in the autumn as well. It's really beautiful. These are some of our native hydrangeas. This is the oak leaf type, and you could tell why. It's in the shape of Quercus, the genus of oak, which is why it has a species name of quercifolia, leaves like an oak. And Quercus is the genus of the oak family. Very beautiful. I find that the deer will eat our native hydrangeas. So they nip these down to the base, which is a little dangerous because you're only supposed to do light pruning on these. If you do too hard of pruning, you might never get the flowers. So we'll see if ours survive. Common witch hazel, this is one of our plants that actually flowers in November, believe it or not. It's an understory plant in the forest, and we've planted quite a bit of witch hazel as well. Some hybrids as well, because they do get some really beautiful flowers. Okay, let's just check here. Serviceberry, also very important pollinator plant. I know these plants don't look like much, but it's one of the best times to actually plant is now in the fall when these plants are kind of going to rest. Do you work here?
Yes, I do.
Do you have your Kellycanthus Floridas burgundy spice here?
Yes, it's right around here.
Okay. Oh, are these pawpaws?
Yes.
Oh, wow. We should get some to eat. Look at that. That's a huge one. Do you think we could fit this under? I think so. It's kind of like...
Kind of flat.
Yeah, it's flat. Yeah. Can I set these aside somewhere? Or, oh, I guess I should probably get a little cart. Okay.
A wagon.
I'm gonna get a wagon. Okay. Which one should we get? These are all so cute. The silver one or this green one? I just really like to look at their leaves right now and how they look. Brandywine Viburnum. I think we got this one. This one's too big for us, but that's really nice to see that color, right? That color looks really good in our landscape because we have a lot of that going on. Okay. What about this guy? He's not even... Ilex Showtime. Oh, so they have these cool Ilexes that are small. They're called Gem Box and Strong Box that look like boxes because they stay small. So I was really interested in that because they're also native plants. And trying to get an alternative to box plants are kind of challenging. Buttonbush. This has these really cool, usually white flowers, but then they have ones that also have red flowers as well as a cultivar. That's also a very important pollinator plant. Crimson Comet was the one that had the red. Here's some of their oaks. Plenty of oaks. So you see how they have these pots here, Sonder? They're kind of buried into the ground so they could overwinter and still get water. Okay, so I might just ask her where all these things are. Ooh, this is pretty too. Look at that color. All right, so I'll share some of what we got. It's not everything I was looking for, but you know, they don't have their website updated, so I had some things on my wish list that unfortunately we're not going to get. But one of the ones that was on the list already was Amarnakia Stolenifera, which I had actually mentioned on I think like 15 edible ground covers. So this does get actually quite high, but it could be still a ground cover. It gets up to 3 to 4 feet high, maybe even 5 feet high, and then kind of spreads outward. So we planted this in our orchard, but I actually want to plant this in our front garden, and it gets serviceberries on it, so very good wildlife food. This is one of the other ones that was on the list. This is Callicanthus Floridas Burgundy Spice, and this has the, it gets burgundy leaves, as you can see. And we have a lot of that reddish purple on our land, and this is a kind of, I wouldn't say it's a native New York plant, but it's within the United States. And I actually had one growing, but not this specific cultivated variety. So I thought this was really nice. It is one of the larger ones that I'm getting that kind of sprawls out, but I think we'll have enough room for it in the car. And it's the last one that they have left here. These are just absolutely gorgeous. I tried to get ones that are not in full bloom yet so that we can enjoy them when I plant them in the pollinator garden. And this is Willow Leaf Sunflower Autumn Gold. So it is a cultivated variety of Kellycanthus. But really beautiful one, and I really love these willow leaves. So if I think about the Coreopsis verticillata, the ones that have like the really thin leaves, or like world milkweed or anything like that, they have these really thin leaves, and I like that look. This one I wasn't planning on getting. This is a Gilla. Now I planted a bunch of these in the meadow home landscaping area. One of them had gotten a little eaten, I think probably by the deer, but I think it'll just bounce back. This is a native shrub, and I think this was probably out in the sun. I mean, the color of that is just extraordinary. Typically they get like a bluish kind of a chalky blue-green leaf. I really like that color, especially for the meadow house. This one, I'm not sure if we'll plant this in the interstitial or if I'll decide on having enough room and planting this up in that big garden area. This one is the Ilex collabra, and so this one, again, I thought maybe wouldn't have enough room for it in the car, but we'll try to make room. This gets a very nice, small, compact shape and is a nice alternative to the non-native box. And then this one we already have a few of that I had purchased already, and we planted in the interstitial. So this is Northern Bayberry, Mirica pennsylvanica, and they get these like white kind of berry-like things on it, almost like juniper berries. And it's a nice evergreen, and you can still see that it's green. It gets like kind of a scraggly appearance, but really important plant for wildlife and birds. And then I got this one. I went on their website and I was like, they're not really selling this plant, but it is native. I looked it up. It's called yellow root. Must have a yellow root, so I'm wondering if it's very similar to like golden seal or Berberis thunbergii with a yellow root, maybe because of the berberine in it. So it could be maybe an herb to some extent. I'll have to look into it. But this is called Xanthorrhiza simplicissima, and it's a spreading perennial, and it kind of gets a little gangly, but I really like the red stems and the fact that it is native, and it's probably an often overlooked plant. So I'm gonna try that out. Maybe I'll plant that in the interstitial, because in the interstitial we can let things kind of clamber and get larger. So yeah, those are the ones that we're gonna go home with. And I think that they have some pawpaw fruits over there. I think we might take some home, which I think would be cool. So that's the overview. All right. Thank you for your help on that.
Oh, of course.
And I think I'm gonna get some pawpaw fruits. Is it okay if we pick some?
Yeah.
Okay.
Let me just get the...
This one has 3 already, so. There you go. One more. There you go, those ones. Yeah, we just happened to be in the area for a job, and I saw this nursery, and I was like, we better get there. Closes in October, perfect timing.
Thanks for taking time to watch this video. And if you're enjoying our videos, consider liking, subscribing, hitting the notifications bell, and even tipping. We are reinvesting 10% of our Google AdSense revenue back into projects here in the Finger Lakes community, so your support of this channel goes a long way. We'll see you in the next video.